Welcome to a new episode of Vlogtober. This is the month of gory, gory,
hoary.
This month is all about anything gory, spooky, scary, like horror stories. So what's better than listening to Nick recount all the times that he has had very unlucky injuries happening to him.
Right, so we're gonna go through my 5 worst accidents.
So just to explain why this is kind of funny to make a video about, is that Nick is the most unlucky person that I've ever met. I don't know how you manage. Like, it's not even like, okay, you've lived a pretty reckless life. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But some of these things are really just you tripping.
Yeah.
And then you're on disability for several months.
I'm so surprised I'm still employed, like, by the same company for the past 8 years. Like,
it's ridiculous. So how old were you with the first one that we want to talk about today?
I was 11 years old, and so yeah. Anyways, accident number 1. I knocked out my 2 front teeth and completely road rashed my whole entire face. Me and my grandfather used to build mopeds together, and yeah, he let us have a little too much freedom. But anyways, I was racing a buddy of mine, and there was two of the mopeds, and I had the first model, so it wasn't all that great. It was kind of rickety, and I was winning the race, so I turned around to see where he was, and I don't remember anything else. I just remember that the moped went foof like that, and my face just all over the concrete, just my styrofoam helmet exploded.
Oh
like,
God, even the helmet?
Yeah, and like I tumbled, and my pants were ripped. I had scabs anywhere you can imagine having a scab.
What about your teeth?
Yeah. So I had my front tooth. I completely knocked that one out. Like, there was like maybe just a little chip way up in there that was still like, and I remember the taste of the asphalt. It was blech. And the other tooth was damn near chipped as well, but there was a little bit left of that. But I had a gap before I chipped my 2 front teeth, and they decided to keep it. So thanks a lot, buddy.
Like, we're just gonna glue your teeth back just the way they were before.
Yeah, you can even fix my gap, you know? So, whatever. Alright guys, number 2. This is one of the worst things that's ever happened to me. Like,
I cringe every time I hear it. This happened right before you met me, like less than a year before you met me.
I was still kind of gimpy.
Yeah, he was limping when I met you.
Yeah. So this one, it's the first time I ever broke a bone in my body. I was 24 years old, 2014. I broke damn near about like 4 bones in my ankle. I can't even remember, but I remember 3 bones that I definitely broke. It was the tibia, the fibula, and the talus, whatever, that little round thing in the middle of your heel. Completely shattered it.
Okay, so how did this happen? Nicholas, what kind of a horrible tragedy could you have gone through that made this happen?
An old friend of mine that was quite large. I lifted him up with so much force.
Because of a dare?
No, it was just, we were just roughhousing.
You guys did this all the time. Like, you would like challenge, even after this accident, you would be like, pick me up, dude, pick me up, you can do it, I can do it. Like,
he was like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Just a big dude. But I picked him up, and my feet were like this. So when I picked him up, he kind of went like over my head, and then we were teetering. A couple of my buddies said that my leg had snapped, and then when I fell backwards, here's my foot, this is my foot. It's a hand, but anyways, he landed on the top of my foot, which kind of just tore everything the other way.
We're talking like the foot was upside down.
Yeah, there was like, you could probably cut it off with a butter knife at that point. Like, it wasn't really attached to anything.
Oh God. Did you call 911?
Yeah. Well, no, we did not.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
All my buddies just kind of like stood there in a circle and stared at me, and I was like, can somebody get me off the fucking ground? Like, come on, hello! Like, can we go to the hospital now? And
they were probably in shock. Like,
yeah,
did we even touch him? Like, what do we do?
They were flipped out.
Yeah.
But anyways, the car that I rode in, we did not take the ambulance. The car that I rode in was a stick shift. So every time you switch the gear, my foot would go whee! And yeah, it was a hell of a ride. I would have just like, you know, paid for the hospital or for the ambulance, but.
And you had surgeries, and they had to re-break the bone.
Yeah, while I was awake, because I was prescribed Adderall.
For ADHD.
Yeah, and they couldn't put me asleep to re-break my leg basically, and so I had to be up for that, and it was awful. Like they gave me some like pain meds, but just hearing the noises and being in the front row seat of that is just horrible. I'd rather be knocked out.
Yeah. That's the worst part of the story for me, that I can never like handle listening to it. Like whenever sometimes he brings it up, he's like, "Do you remember that time, like when I told you about this and that, and like, I can't believe you had to re-break it." I often just feel like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like I can't. It's so
shitty,
awful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. So definitely one of the worst accidents. So.
Your poor body, babe.
Number 3. This is when I fractured my back in 3 places. So this one took place at a bachelor party.
2018, I think?
Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah. And it was at the Silver Legacy Casino in Reno. And it was the first night I had gotten there. I had the first drink in my hand.
We were all having a great time.
And so we're going down the escalator. And when I tell people this story, they think that I fell down the whole entire escalator. That's not how it happened. So I wasn't paying attention. I was damn near sober at that point. Like I had the first drink in my hand. It was pretty full. I was wearing a nice suit, and I was turning around talking to somebody like this, and then you know that like platform that you were supposed to step off at the bottom. Well, I didn't step off, and I was wearing.
Didn't someone spill a drink?
I spilled my drink all over me.
Oh, I thought someone spilled the drink first and then you slipped or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just wasn't paying attention, so I didn't slip. I didn't step off onto the platform, and that's kind of like I was like, what? And I fell down.
You landed straight on your back. Like imagine like the steps of an escalator, how sharp it is. It's like teeth, you know, like that.
I can't even tell the story right.
Well, you had like, I remember on his back, you could see like where he landed on the escalator.
3 puncture wounds from the teeth of the stairs.
Yeah.
There we go. And so he's like 1 here, 1 there, and 1 here. And the one in the middle is the one I think that fractured my spine. So that could have ended really bad. Like they kept asking me like, you know, a couple days later, if I can feel my legs, you know, and if I can get up, and you know, because that could have paralyzed me.
Especially because you kept going. I mean, the thing is, like, you were in pain, but I mean, we thought you just landed pretty bad until the next morning, and we had a whole party night in Reno, guys. Like, and then you came back to the hotel, and it wasn't until then that. You're telling me now.
Feel that tomorrow.
You're telling me now that you were in a lot of pain, but let's face it, I was so drunk that night. I had no idea.
Yeah.
What I didn't know. But then the next day we were driving home, and you.
Oh my God!
had to drive home. I didn't have a driver's license.
4.5 hours I had to drive in traffic.
Yeah.
Back to Cali. With a fractured back, and I had no idea at that point that it was, but I knew something was wrong.
And then the doctor said for a whole month that everything was fine because they did do an X-ray, but they couldn't see anything.
I guess there was so much swelling, like in the area that they couldn't tell that it was fractured.
Did you go back to work?
No, hell no.
You were home for a month.
I couldn't move, yeah.
But I think work was kind of confused too because they knew that, okay, you landed badly, but the doctor said there was nothing wrong really. So it was like, what do you tell work while you're off? You couldn't really. I don't think we filed for disability immediately because of that. We thought you were gonna get back to work soon. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's really shitty because it's like I feel like it's kind of chronic now. Like I have a bulging disc on my right side, and I have I think two pinched sciatic nerves going down both legs.
We should explain you work at UPS. You lift a lot of really, really heavy packages.
Yeah.
And that's cost you back.
So it's just it's not fun. Like once you fracture something or break something, it's like. You know, they call it that for a reason. Like, it's never going to be how it used to be. The next one actually happened in the same year that I knocked out my 2 front teeth.
Oh.
So I was also 11 years old. This one was like really scary, like for me, because I was okay. So anyways, I got bit by a dog, an Alaskan Husky, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's yeah, it's right here. I had to get stitches, like 4 stitches or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, the dog took such a big chunk out of my arm.
How did it start though?
It was Halloween, and a buddy of mine was dressed up as a girl, and he, I think, scared the dog, and I was petting the dog like this, and he was standing next to me, and he scared the dog, and the dog just like went whoof, and just grabbed onto my arm, yeah, and it just pulled me, and it wouldn't let go. It was like locked on, like, and I didn't.
So wait, so you didn't expect him to like pet it or something, or did he just go?
I was already petting the dog.
Yeah,
like,
but him, your friend, what did he do?
I don't remember, but someone said that he like spooked the dog.
Oh, and then he just reacted, and you were just in the way.
Yeah, so that like I was the first thing the dog, and like this was a dog that I used to play with like regularly, like as a kid. Like I knew the dog, Jakey, like, you know, like. So it was just a shock to me. Like I felt like betrayed by the dog. Like I was flipping out. You know, the owners were, you know, I don't know. It was weird. Like they were trying to get the dog, but the dog just wouldn't let go of me. And at that point, everyone else around me was kind of pushed back. You know, and the dog was just being a relentless little fuck. You know, and like. And I just remember like hitting the dog in the head.
It's
like,
scary. At 11 years old, your arms are. I mean, you were also pretty skinny as a kid. Like,
yeah,
not a lot of meat on those bones.
No, so like it was pretty nasty. Like when I got to the hospital, so I was dressed up as a biker. So like I had like one of those like leather jackets on, like fake leather, and that like really played a good role in like, you know, like he could have like severed like a bunch of like tendons or something crazy, like. You know, it was pretty bad as it was, but I think that jacket kind of like saved me a lot because it wasn't super thick, but it was thick enough. And anyway, so when I got to the hospital, when I took the jacket off, I saw like a piece of like flesh like roll down the sleeve and just like hit the floor, and I was just like, yeah, I was 11, you know, so like I was just like, ew, oh my god, like how bad is this shit? Like, oh my god. And like, so I didn't see it because it was like, you know, like I had a thing on it. And then when they were doing the stitches, like I looked over like when they were halfway done with the procedure, so I saw like half of the hole closed up, and it was like I don't know, probably a little bigger than a quarter, like the size of the hole. And
it took a chunk out of you, literally.
Yeah, it was nasty looking. There was like a bunch of crap like coming out of it, like yellow stuff, and I don't even know if that was like muscle tissue or what. It was gross. So that definitely marks number 4. All right, you ready for number fucking 5?
Ready? You ready for
This one's fucked.
What's funny is that like I lived a very calm life in Sweden. I've had a very innocent, simple, easygoing childhood in Sweden, and he lived in California, born and raised. I mean, it doesn't have to do with California, of course. It's not California's fault, but. You just had a much different childhood. Like, I cannot even think of, like, what my worst injury has been. Like, what would it be?
You poor thing.
Yeah. Like, did I scratch my knees when I was rollerblading once? Like, does I...
My God.
I'm not... I don't...
I mean, I'm very, you know, that's very fortunate.
I haven't had stitches. I haven't broken anything until maybe recently when I think I maybe broke my pinky, but it's never clarified, and it's not like it was pointing in any weird directions. Like...
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was there for that.
It was a few months ago. Like I literally, yeah. So when I hear these stories, I easily get like lightheaded. You've been through a lot, but you got through it. All right, I think I'm ready for number 5.
Okay. Number 5. So I was about 16 years old when this one happened. I had super crazy large tonsils, like. Always one of the last ones to leave the dinner table because it was hard to like swallow food, and I got sick a lot. Like I got pneumonia like a couple times a year, like, and it was regular for me, and it was shitty every time. And I got like these growths like on my actual tonsils. It was like, and they're like white, and I like picked at them, and it created like craters in my tonsils. But like my tonsils were like probably that big. each.
Oh, wow.
Like I could barely swallow food.
Yeah.
Drinking, I can chug anything like I wanted to, you know, as fast as everybody else. Beer cans and stuff. Anyways.
At 16? Okay.
So anyways, they recommended getting a tonsillectomy, tonsil surgery, and removing my tonsils. So yeah, I don't know. I was just like flipped out about it. It was like one of the first like surgeries I had ever done.
Feels pretty invasive too in your throat.
Yeah, and like I was like, okay, like if a fucking 5-year-old can do it, like I can get through this, you know, no big deal.
You get to eat ice cream afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what you hear, right?
Yeah. So anyways, I got the procedure. Everything went pretty good. The first day I got out, I ate a bratwurst hot dog. Which, yeah, you're supposed to be on like a liquid diet for like 5 days or something. Like after that, and then gradually start working up to like pudding and shit. Like I can't. Pudding. Tapioca, stuff like that. But I just went straight for the hot dog, and I was still like kind of like on the anesthesia and all that. But I knew it wasn't good, and I went out and partied a lot. Right after, basically, like a couple days, I smoked cigarettes. Drugs, drank, all the bad shit that you're not supposed to do and probably not supposed to do ever anyways. But I did all that shit, guys, and it was like 12 days or something like after the procedure, I blood started coming up from my throat.
Ew.
And it was like fresh blood, and then I was like, what the hell? And then it's right after that had happened, I went to like swallow, and like my throat wasn't as sore like right after that had happened, and I was like, whoa, that's weird. But anyways, so later on that night I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I could see the street light would always reflect into my window, and I just wake up laying on my back, and just I see this black liquid just spray all over the walls, and I'm choking, like choking, and so I'm like flipping out, and I start feeling really fucking nauseous, and so I run to the bathroom, and I'm like pounding on the walls, and like I like lost a shit ton of weight. Like I was doing a bunch of drugs, but I was also like not really eating as much because like my throat was all messed up. I was just kind of like smoking stuff, and it was just bad. But so it was like 120 pounds or something, and I was just like turning blue, and I remember pounding on the walls, screaming for help, and I just started like puking like globs of like blood, and it looked like muddy spaghetti. Like I was pulling strings out of my throat. Like what the fuck is this? And I filled up the whole sink, and then so finally my mom like was like, what's wrong? And I was just like, I don't know, I think I'm dying. I'm like, oh god, it was horrible. Like,
can you imagine? We laugh about this sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine your mom's reaction when she comes in? Wasn't there like blood everywhere? Like did you walk from the bedroom to the kitchen or something, and you just like left blood traces?
Yeah.
Like,
So I'll get to that. So
yeah.
basically, like I was standing in the den area, and there was beautiful white carpet there, and I was about to like throw up some more, and it was all just blood, I guess, that I had been swallowing for those 12 days. When your stomach can't digest large amounts of blood like that, like, so it just sits there and it fucking rots and it stinks. And as I threw it up, I was ripping the wound and the stitches even more every time I was throwing up, and it was making me throw up even more because of the smell and the taste of the rotten globs of blood just sitting in my stomach.
Lovely.
So,
that's lovely.
Anyways, I'm standing in the den, getting more nauseous, you know, and there's a white carpet beneath me, and my mom was like, not the carpet! She starts grabbing me to the hardwood floor, you know.
Please don't die on the carpet.
Or don't get blood on the carpet. You know?
I know, but you know.
Yeah. And I thought that was pretty funny. I think I even smiled at that point. But anyways, yeah, I was watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so that's a little different for me to watch nowadays. And I filled up this whole like big like cooking pot like full of pukey blood, whatever. And that's when my mom was like, you know what, like this is bullshit. Like it was going really fast at that point. It wasn't like my mom was just sitting there like watching her son die. Like it happened very fast, and I kept saying, please don't call. I don't want to go into the hospital anymore. Like. I'm just stubborn like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
super stubborn about that.
so when I filled that thing up, my mom was just like, fuck this, like I'm calling the cops, like or I'm
The
calling
cops.
the ambulance, sorry. Get this bloody fuck out of my house right now, like, yeah, no. Arrest him. So
You did something to my white carpet.
So anyways, I was like, all right. So then I get up from the couch, start walking into the kitchen, and there was like this thing, like in, you know, the thing that your silverware sits in, like in the dishwasher. It was sitting on the counter, full of silverware, and I just remember, I think I knocked it over, and I lost my vision, and I went completely blind, and then I was like, fuck, and then I went doof, hit the floor, and that's all I really remember. And then I could hear a bunch of silverware like clinking all over the floor. And then I woke up in my hallway, like sitting down to like a bunch of like firemen in my house and like EMTs, the police. Like,
you must have been out for a little while then, at least.
Yeah, and they had me hooked up to all this shit, and then they took me away in the ambulance, and all
the
these
police was there?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They just like sent everybody. Like,
wow, I wonder why.
I remember I had like super thick like eyeliner on, and I was like just in my underwear, and I had my hair like this, but I had like Liberty spikes like this, and like my makeup was all smudged and bloody, and
such
like
a 90s kid.
And yeah, all the neighbors like came out and they saw me get pulled out on the stretcher, and I was just like like looking like that, like they definitely got
it's
a
not
whole
funny, but it's like, it's funny in hindsight to like think about like
yeah, outside the box.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck, there's an exorcism going on next door.
Yeah,
Like,
crazy story. Like, oh god.
So definitely learned my lesson with that one. They had to go and cauterize everything closed and burn everything shut or whatever, and
I'm assuming you stuck to your liquid diet?
I took it easy after that.
Yeah.
And then I waited to recover, and then I went and smoked a bunch of drugs and drank a bunch of alcohol. Yeah.
All right. Well, it was an interesting list, honey.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling your stories, and thank you for watching.
Yes, thanks, guys. You guys made it.
All right. We'll see you for the next video. Bye.